Hi, hello, hi. Today I'm going to be talking about queens that I've met, and by queens I mean RuPaul's Drag Race queens. Some people like to go to concerts. I like to go watch drag queens. I love it. It's super fun. I used to go see most of my shows through MP. If you know MP, you know. But more recently, within the last just over a year, somebody where I live now has a promotion company, Lavender Promotions, and he actually brings some amazing Ru queens to my city. So I've gotten the opportunity to meet a lot of them through there, and it's been super fun, super amazing. I'm just gonna talk about all the queens that I've met. If I don't have a story about this queen, it's not that I don't like them, it's just I didn't have a good time to like interact with them. So it may just be simple, short and sweet, like, oh, I met them, but literally all I got to do was say hi and that's about it. So the ones that I actually have more stories of, I've either met more or just the meet and greet was so awesome that I had an amazing chance to talk to them. So let's get started. The first queen that I met is Jinx Monsoon. It was at an MP show, so I didn't get a lot of opportunity to say much, so it was just kind of a quick hi. Next, it was Latrice Royale. I've seen her 4 times and they've all been through MP shows. There's not a lot of time to talk to the queen, so I always make sure that I do talk to Latrice because I just love Latrice so much. She's super nice, she's super friendly. My friend and I, we actually made her this pop-up wedding card for when she got married. And last show I saw her at, I actually have all of the merch that she brings. So I'm like, girl, you need to bring more merch so I can buy more stuff. When my friend's uncle passed away, I ended up getting her a Latrice cameo, and at the time she was working on a project. I don't know if it was the RuPaul's new Netflix show, but Latrice was working on something and she wasn't in drag and she almost didn't have time to do things, but she made sure to make time to give my friend this cameo, and it's an amazing cameo. And I just love Latrice so much, she's fantastic. But next is Ginger Minj. I've actually been able to meet Ginger Minj twice. Once with an MP and the other one was with Lavender Promotions. And oh, she is fantastic live. Ginger Minj legitimately sings live. And when I saw her, it was the whole just after the whole MP debacle, and when people wanted her to be Ursula for the live action Little Mermaid. I'm still wishing she was Ursula for the live action Mermaid, because at the Lavender Promotion show, she actually sang Poor Unfortunate Souls live, and it was so good, amazing. And so when everyone was commenting about who should play Ursula, complaining that Ariel is black, different story, so bad, so stupid that people are angry about that. Mermaids aren't real, they can be any color. Anyway, I would post videos of Ginger Minj singing Poor Unfortunate Souls, and then these angry women would be like, well, too bad they only lip sync because she kind of looks the part. And I'm like, thank you for thinking that her singing is so good because she's actually singing that live. And well, the lady didn't like that, but it just goes to show how amazing Ginger Minj is. She's also the best when it comes to meet and greets. You're gonna hear me say the best a lot, but when you see Ginger Minj, she actually takes the time to like sit and talk to every single person. Like, I was wearing my Trixie cosmetic, or not Trixie Cosmetics, sorry, it was before she came out with her cosmetics line, the Trixie Sugar Pill collab eyeshadow, and she commented on how much she liked my eyeshadow, and we talked about the Trixie Mattel colors, and then just how the Divine palette had too many crazy colors, and ugh, Ginger's the best. So I also got a chance to meet Trinity Taylor. Once again, MP show, didn't get a chance to say much. I also met Thorgy Thor. I've met Thorgy, I believe, 4 times. All of them were with MP. She's one of my, I like to call it my holy trinity. I have 3 drag queens that are hands down like my absolute favorite, and that's Katya, Bianca Del Rio, and Thorgy Thor. So it's really awesome that I've been able to meet Thorgy 4 times. She legitimately plays the violin at her shows. Oh, it's so good. Oh, she's amazing. She also enveloped me in her cape at the one Christmas show. I was sitting front row, I had her shirt on, which it ended up being, I found out, one of like her favorite merch shirts she's ever had. It's just black and white. It's like, I feel incredible! And I bought it because I love Thorgy. and I was wearing that. So she came up to me and she enveloped me in her cape. She jingled her balls at me. My friend has this picture of me just like staring in awe at Thorgy Thor, and the caption's like, get you someone who looks at Thorgy the way Michelle does, or get you someone the way that, I don't know how that goes. I'm tired, but it was funny, and I super love Thorgy. Yeah. Then there's Willem, who I've met 3 times, twice through MP and once through Lavender Promotions. Willem was one of the very first drag queens I actually had an interaction with. It was at an MP show, and they were all sitting in a giant group, and I was getting a group photo with my cousin because I was the bigger drag queen fan. She's a big drag queen fan now, but at the time I was the bigger one, and I didn't know where to go, and I was crying, and I'm like, I don't know where I should sit. And then Willem's like, come sit with me. So I shared a chair with Willem, first of all. And then Willem told me to stop effing crying. So I apologized because I'm Canadian, so my sorry came out. And then Willem whips her head around and was like, you're Canadian, aren't you? And I said yes and started crying again. Because I am Canadian and I say sorry a lot. Another really cool thing about Willem is that she super cares about names and her fans. So my one friend, Alex, I go to all my drag shows with her basically, and Alex wanted to get something signed, and Willem's like, who's this for? And Alex is like, oh, it doesn't matter. And then Willem's like, no, who's this for? Your name's important. And it just, oh, I love Willem. Next is Trixie Mattel, who I've actually seen twice, both with MP shows, once with a group show and then once with a solo show. So my friend is the biggest Trixie fan I know, super crazy in love with Trixie, and I'm super crazy in love with Katya. So we have these matching shirts that say she's a little bit country, she's a little bit garbage. So I've got the garbage shirt with Katya, and she's got the country shirt with Trixie. So we wore those to the Trixie Mattel show. So everyone's looking super Trixie, super cute, and I roll up in my Russian red MAC lipstick, my fishnets and shorts and combat boots, and I've got my Katya shirt on. And then Trixie's like, nice representation. So she didn't totally hate that I showed up in Katya stuff. I mean, I don't think I do that now. I think that's kind of a little rude, but I have an undying love for Katya, and yeah. Trixie sings live, and when she sings live, oh, I cried. Songs that never made me cry before by Trixie Mattel made me cry. Like, I've always cried at some of her songs, just they get me right in the feels, but then other ones, no. And now, oh, because I've seen them live, they make me cry. I've also seen Bob the Drag Queen. I don't remember who this was with, that's so bad. But it was in a town that's about 2 hours away from me, in a library. So I've seen Bob the Drag Queen in a library, and she is so funny. I was crying, laughing the entire time. Bob puts on an amazing show. I've also met Pheromone. I met her twice, both with MP shows, and she's just so adorable. I want to stick her in my pocket and run away with her. She's so cute, and she has some of the funniest stories. Like, if you get a chance to hear her Christmas stories, like, listen, they are so funny. I met Vanessa Vanjie Mateo. I met her twice, and this was before she came back to be on the most recent season, season 11. So this was before that happened. Oh, holy crap. I wish, like, obviously, like, you've seen what she's like now, but I wish she had a chance to show what she could do on season 10, because she is so incredible live. She has so much energy, and the passion she puts behind her numbers is amazing. So she was doing this one number, and beads were flying everywhere, and one fell close to where I was sitting. I was by some stairs near the front. So I went and I leaned over and I poked that little bead to touch it and bring it back. And Vanessa started yelling at me, saying she didn't win, so she didn't have any RuPaul money, and that she needed all her beads back. And It was so funny. I've had the opportunity to meet Miss Cracker twice. She's just so cute. She's funny, she's cute. I also want to stick her in my pocket and run away. I also got to meet Monet Exchange. She is beautiful in person. Not that she's not beautiful on the show, because she is, but ooh, she is gorgeous and funny to top it off. Like, ooh, she's after my heart. Then we have Legs Naomi Smalls, who I've been able to meet twice thanks to MP and Lavender Promotions. She is actually one of the nicest queens. Now, All Stars didn't really paint her in the best light. They kind of gave her a bit of a villain edit, but in person, holy crap, she is so nice. The very first drag show I ever went to, it had meet and greet, but I didn't buy meet and greet. And my grand little is in love with Naomi Smalls. So I'm like, okay, I'll get her a pin. Then I found out that if you bought some merch from the show, you could have them sign it after. I don't know if MP does that anymore, but they did for this show. I haven't really seen it happen since, probably because the queens were stuck there forever. But it was able to happen. So I found that out, so I ended up getting a picture of Naomi for my grand little. And I was one of the first people in line to get this. And Naomi's like, who's this for? And I told her the name, and then one of the MP people's like, no customizations. So, Naomi looked at me and she's like she whispered an apology. And then it ended up getting personalized anyway, because Naomi's amazing. She also asked how I enjoyed the show one time after a show. When I was waiting in line for a meet and greet, she's like, hey, how are you doing? Are you excited for the show? She's just super nice. And I made sure I told her that when I met her with Lavender Promotions, because that was just after the All-Stars thing. And I'm like, girl, I defend you like nobody's business online, because they're just judging off of All-Stars and they've never actually met you. And I know that because they're being rude and they don't know how wonderful you are. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet. And she smells like vanilla, if you're interested in knowing that. She's one of the smells that sticks out to me. Creepy, I know. So I got to meet Raja twice, and Raja is a literal goddess. And me, being the awkward, nervous person I am, decided to be creepy as all heck to Raja. So my friend Alex absolutely adores Raja. It's one of her favorite queens. And I was taking her to the same show that I was at that day, the next day, in a different city. So I went to a show twice in 2 days. It was great. Anyway, I met Raja the first night, and instead of being normal and saying, hey, I said, I'll see you tomorrow. That's it. That's what I said to Raja. And then I winked. I freaking winked like a creeper. Thank God she didn't remember me, or I would have been escorted out because I was creepy. I've had the opportunity to meet Darien Lake 3 times. Twice with Lavender Promotions and once with MP. She is very nice in person. She's super funny, and she can lip sync for the gods. I also got to meet Pandora Box because of Lavender Promotions, and I was in stitches at her show. She is so funny. It was a double show with her and Darien, and it was Christmas themed. It was amazing. I got to meet them after. They were hilarious. I'm gonna do a little bit of a quick runoff of ones that I've met, but I didn't really get a chance to say much to, so I've met them. That would be Mandela Luzon, Lady Bunny, Mimi I'm First, and Kimchi. Kimchi's amazing. Super, super amazing. Super sweet. Funny. I didn't realize how tall she was. Like, I knew she was tall, but when I saw her for the first time, she literally walked by me and I'm like, I was just shocked. She was very tall. Or is. She not was. She's still alive. My man at Lavender Promotions brought us Brooklyn Heights. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to see Brooklyn Heights, but if you do and you haven't, you need to go. She had the entire theater standing. She was amazing. So besides the fact the meet and greet was fantastic, I wore an outfit I wasn't super comfortable with, and she said I looked pretty, she said I smelled nice, I smelled like coconuts, she was into that, so we're coconuts. Brooklyn might tell you you smell good. And then she goes on and performs in ballet shoes and does Bohemian Rhapsody and holds up a Canadian flag with the fans going and her hair's blowing, and I was in love. It was the best. My city's pride events with Lavender Promotions brought me Darian Lake and Morgan McMichaels. So this was my opportunity to meet Morgan McMichaels, who is incredible. Before the show started, she was meeting some fans, just getting some pictures. During the intermission, she was meeting some fans, getting some pictures. She was hilarious. She smooshed me in a nice Darian Morgan sandwich. She's just super kind, super funny, amazing. All these queens, they're just super great. And then I got to meet my sun, my moon, my number one. I got to meet Katya. Oh, I lost my mind when I got to meet Katya. My friend Alex was super happy that she was there because she actually got to laugh at the fact that I bawled my eyes out. Literally, I was in line for the meet and greet. I made sure we had the super eccentric billionaire meet and greet, that we got to sit in the front row because I am in love with Katya. And before we even went in to meet her, the doors opened and I saw the top of her wig and I bawled. I full on cried my eyes out. My friend has a video of this and she's laughing at me the whole time. We finally get up to, it's our turn to meet Katya. I make my friend go first to give her a fair warning because Katya needed to be prepared for all of the love I was about to bring her. So my friend Alex went first, and she told Katya about the time I cried at the Boston airport because I was in Katya's hometown. And I did. I have actually cried at the Boston airport because that's where Katya was from. Katya thought that was freaking hilarious. So then it's my turn to go up. She told me that if I cried, she would throw me in the streets, which I said, okay, because please, if that's how I go, that's how I go, and I would not be upset if Katya throwing me in the streets is how I died. So I gave her presents because I'm in love with her. I wrote her a letter because I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to speak, and I just needed Katya to know how much I loved her. When it came time to take our picture, I asked her if she'd hide my soft, poopy body because I didn't like the way I looked at the time, so she enveloped me in a hug. We did a pose where I was over her like this. I made her laugh, and I started crying a little because I made Katya laugh. Like me, I'm somewhat funny enough that I made Katya laugh. So that was great. And then we walked away, and I cried again. And we got to our seats, and I cried some more. And then Katya came on, and I shouldn't have cried, but I did. Then she said her name was Ekaterina Petrovna Zamolodchikova, but we could just call her Katya. And I cried again. And she started lip syncing to I Will Always Love You in Russian. And I cried again. And then at the end of the show, she kissed my hand. And I cried again. I actually thought about getting that tattooed on my hand, but then I realized I shouldn't get a hand tattoo. But girl, I need to know what lipstick she wore because I washed my hands. I swear I washed my hands. I know. And that lip mark stayed on my hand for at least 3 days after the show, after washing my hands and showering. So what lipstick do you use, Katya? Because I need to know, because that is the best red lipstick I have ever seen. This brings us to the last RuPaul queen and the most recent RuPaul queen that I have met, Bianca Del Rio. I got to meet her on her Just or Joke tour, and I actually, between meeting Katya and meeting Bianca, I had to get an inhaler. I'm not too sure why I need one. Like, okay, I know why. My lungs don't really work properly, but I haven't been diagnosed with anything just yet. So I don't, anyway. I had to use it. When it was almost my turn to go up, my lungs decided to cut out on me, and I had to use my inhaler. So the picture I have with Bianca Del Rio is her holding my hand and me holding my inhaler. I also told her that I was shaking like a chihuahua on meth, and she died because I was very shaky, and she has chihuahuas and thought of them on meth and how funny that would be. Not that chihuahuas should do meth, it's just meth makes people shaky, and chihuahuas are already shaky, so if they did meth, they'd just shake more. So after you meet Bianca, you can ask a question if you were at the meet and greet. So I decided to play F, Marry, Kill with Bianca Del Rio on this paper of Katya, Thorgy, and Latrice. So it's the end of the show. She's like, this is a question from Michelle from Canada, and I'm like, that's me. So I stood up, and then Bianca's like, hello, and I'm like, hi. And then Bianca's like, this isn't TV, I can see you. And it literally took her several minutes to answer my question because she could not decide who she wanted to F, marry, and kill out of my 3 choices. So she decided that she'd like to F Latrice because something about a large hole. She would marry Thorgy, so Thorgy knew what it would be like to be a winner, and she would kill Katya to try to also kill Trixie's career. I just want to plug some of my favorite local queens. I say local as in Canadian. The town I'm in has some queens, and actually one of these queens is originally from the area, but I absolutely adore Juicebox and Priyanka Love. If you get a chance to look them up, they slay. They are amazing. They're super great. I have a hunch that they're on Drag Race Canada, which isn't released at the time of this filming. So I have an inkling. I don't know anything. This is just a guess, but I think they're on Drag Race Canada. I'm super mad that they're on the same season because they both can't win, and I want them both to win, but I digress. I think they're both on this season, and when that's finally announced and I find out if I'm right or not, I'm gonna lose my mind. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. I've got more stories. I'm gonna make some vlogs. You'll see more of my dog. He's pretty quiet because he's been playing with huskies all weekend, so he's just asleep by my booty. And yeah, thank you so much, and bye!